What's one thing you think everyone should learn from a young age?
Oh, confidence. I think that is definitely something that we should all learn, no matter if you're male, female. Learn how to be confident. You could have self confidence basically by repetition, staying consistent with something, whether it's like fitness or if you're working on a career or something like that. The more you fail, the more confident you'll be in. I didn't realize how much failing is a part of the process of it's a part of you succeeding. You cannot succeed without failing. I'm a yoga instructor, obviously, and I teach that to my class all the time. When they fall out of a pose, it's okay because the next time you go back into it, it's like, okay, it's a little bit easier.
What gives you optimism about the future?
The thing that scares me about the future is also the thing that gives me like hope about the future. And I would have to say technology because, modern technology will help us to live longer, will make a lot of things easier for us for sure. It could open up our minds to things that we didn't know before, especially open up our minds to our own selves is also the thing that scares me a little bit. Because it could also go the opposite way.
What are you scared about when it comes to technology?
It's going to dumb us down. It's going to slow us down. And people are going to be like, oh, I need modern technology. I need this. I need this. I need to have the latest phone. I need to be on social media. I need this. I need this. I need this. And it's like, no, you don't. You need to understand that you are intelligent on your own. I was looking at a podcast. It's kind of funny, but I was looking at a podcast on YouTube where this guy, he was a really important guy in Google, and he helped create a bunch of AI stuff. And he even said that he's scared of modern, like new technology. And these are the people who are putting out this new technology to the world. We need to regulate AI. He even said, like, if you don't have kids, wait a few years before you decide to have kids. And if you do have kids, hug them, love them, and all of that. And he said it's not necessarily the AI technology, it's what humans will do with it. It's kind of like The Walking Dead. After a while, you're not scared of the zombies, you're scared of the human beings. Yeah. I know one yoga student, he's a teacher, I think for like 5th or 6th grade or high school, I can't remember. And he's like, well, yeah, Chat GPT, my students are using it. And now I have to differentiate between who actually wrote their paper and who wrote their paper 5 minutes ago and handed it in. You'll have a lot of people in med school who will do it. You'll have a lot of college kids who will do it. And now it's like, he's like, okay, this kid definitely is very eloquent for a 5-year-old, or like a kid in 5th grade, or this is a little too smart for this kid, and then they're the ones that are going to be writing prescriptions for people, which is scary to think, or they're the ones who are going to be doing operations. And you're like, God, okay. When a child is developing their brain and learning how to move and navigate around the world, they have to fail in order to win, in order to succeed. And so if you're having something do everything for you, those neurons you're not creating new passageways, and those neurons aren't connecting, and you're not getting smarter because you have something there doing stuff for you. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why we will become just like twiddling our thumbs while, technology is doing everything for us. I mean, granted, don't get me wrong, I love my robo vac. I do not want to do vacuuming, but I know how to vacuum. I don't want to necessarily iron again, but I can iron if need be. I don't necessarily want to have to wash my clothes by hand, but I can, and I have done it before.
What role has religion played in your life?
Organized, like institutionalized religion? None. Now, granted, I did go to Catholic school for 4 years, and I am a yoga instructor, which is Hinduism. But me going into a place, except for a yoga studio. But the good thing about a yoga studio is that you could be any like organized religion and still come and enjoy the teachings, not just the physical practice, but the meditation, the breath, with other people of a different religion. Like, you give me a Bible, you give me a Quran, and then just let me be by myself with it. I think if we are going to do religion, I think you just do that. Give someone the book and then let them interpret it, and then like, don't preach it to me, let me take my own interpretation.
What does Afro-Latina mean?
Afro-Latina, it is a Hispanic person or a person of Hispanic origin who is also Black, who's also has origin from Africa. But it's so much more. It's the vibe, the swag, the tumbao, I think. It's the swag, it's the personality. Most famous Afro-Latina is Celia Cruz. And she has a song, La Negra Tiene Tumbao. I love that song, but it's like the Black girl has like the drum. So a tumbao is like a drum, but it's like how she moves, like she moves to this rhythm. Yeah. But yeah, that's what being an Afro-Latina is. At least to me. That's what it means.
How do you feel about aliens right now? Like, what do you think?
I believe that they're real. I wouldn't be afraid. I think most people are afraid of something that they don't know. And that's totally understandable, obviously. I wouldn't be afraid. I think I would be more like, oh my God, thank you. Like, because I can't just, it's like, it's not just us. Aliens may have their own way of living, and so their intelligence would be a reflection of them and their needs versus us. Our intelligence are a reflection of us and our needs. I mean, you see AI artwork, and it's like everything that's ever been posted on the internet formed together to make another piece of art, but it's like the reflection of what we've created in our human psyche. So I don't view aliens the same way as I do artificial intelligence here.
What role do you think the government should play in people's lives?
Well, as you know, I'm a very moderate, like, let's be in the middle, let's have the best of both worlds type of person. There should be some governmental influence, don't get me wrong, but not to the extent it's been, especially with I don't know, it's a controversial topic, but especially with when it comes to reproductive rights for women. Like, just, I'm a woman in the 21st century. Hands off my vagina. Like, essentially, like, don't touch my uterus. I think, that is someone's choice, whether or not to keep life or to terminate it. We don't walk in each other's shoes. You just don't. We don't live each other's lives. We can't. We actually cannot, because we have to deal with our own lives. And so you don't know someone's current circumstance. I used to be hardcore anti-abortion. I went to like 2 March of Dimes, like, rallies and stuff. And I was like, nah, like, until I got older and realized, like, no, why am I judging someone for doing this? Like, they may have, a mental illness where they're just not mentally there to support. They may have no money. they may not have the support that they need for a child. Because holy shit, I got 2 cats, and I'm like, oh my God, imagine having a whole kid. Like, it's different. It's different. The money is crazy. Or they probably thought they would be sane enough to do it and then realize afterwards when the kid's here. I've seen, like, I used to live in 2 buildings where women were single parents, and they would beat the shit out of their kid because the father wasn't there. They probably had the kid straight out of, because the parents forced them, you know, like you can just tell when they're being forced to have a kid and then the father's not there to support. They're not getting the same help that they need, and everything's a struggle. And so they're like beating the shit out of this kid, and you're like, you could have easily kissed it up to God and then gone about your business, you know? I mean, it's not an easy choice, and I'm like, oh yeah, sure, but there's options, and these poor women just didn't have that option because religion plays such a strong influence in like Black and brown communities. My aunt allowed for my cousin, who's 13, to give birth to my other cousin at 13 years old. She spent most of her life being a mom. Granted, obviously she loves her kids, and you know, things turned out fine, which they always will, if you believe that it will turn out fine. But my cousin also had a bunch of support. There's a lot of women who just don't. And it's so sad when you have the government making a decision for a grown woman or for a child, like that. It's sad. So I think it should be, to an extent, they should have a role in, you know, in our lives, but not to, there should be it should be moderate, I think.